Hello everybody out there here for the HOI4 Game channel. Welcome to the New Order and to a Scotland playthrough. I was going to start off with Germany, but I had said when this did come out that I would play as Scotland first, so I am going to do that. Now, I have played a little bit off cam. In fact, I had already recorded a video, but there's so much like lore. The amount of pop-ups and reading for this mod I've noticed is absolutely ridiculous. Now I'm fine with that when I'm not playing not for a playthrough on YouTube, because reading just takes up too much time. So for the purpose of this playthrough, to like keep it going and not to get, you know, have long-winded episodes just me reading stuff, because I don't want to be doing that anyways. I hate doing too much reading. And people hate that too. We just want to get in the game, have some fun, and take over the world. Probably something we're not going to do is Scotland, to be fair. So basically, when any pop-up comes up that doesn't have a choice at the end of it, we're not going to bother reading. If it has a choice, we will then read what it is, just so I can understand fully what's going on. So if the pop-up comes up that you're wanting to read, go ahead and pause the video, and then you can read it. I'll maybe have a wee glance through it, possibly. We'll see. But anyways, we're going to start with our first focus, which is Alone in the Isles. Once the peoples of the island of Britain were joined under a united kingdom, a nation that upheld the values of freedom and democracy, a nation that would build the greatest empire on earth with a brave army and a navy that nobody could match, a land that defeated threats to freedom such as Napoleon and Kaiser Wilhelm. Regardless of what one may think about our position under London at the time, nobody could deny that we were safe with our English and Welsh friends backing us up. Now the United Kingdom is gone, our friends are gone, and we are the only free people left on the island of Britain. This event, Scotland forever, and the King's Speech. Right, let's look at our field marshals. We have one. We have Douglas Wimberley, so we'll put him in. And generals, we have Eric Miles, Lauren MacLean Campbell, Derek Boyleau Lang, Bernard Gordon Lennox, Ronald Bramwell Davis, Henry Leask, Bernard Ferguson, Alexander Boswell, and Bill Speakman. I'm going to go with Derek Boyleau Lang because he has infantry expert, so he's not a bad choice. Anyways, let's get going, shall we? So, the world is interesting in the New Order. We have right now 5 factions. We have the Unity Pact, which of course is ruled and controlled by an Iron Fist, by well, we all know who that is. We have the Organization of Free Nations, led by the Americans with Richard Nixon. I didn't realize, but they actually had the US Forces Iceland. So they're a military government of America. We also have the Triumvirate Alliance, which is the Italians with the Turks and, well, they're puppets that they gained from the war, and Spain. Spain also has a puppet, okay. Oh, yep, the Reich has done a wee, has completed the race to, well, the space race. They've landed first on the moon. They've got the first boots on it. We've also got the Co-Prosperity Sphere, which of course is ruled by Japan, and yeah, China's not a puppet of them, so they might actually strike back, which would be very interesting to see. Of course, the UK is split up into, well, 5 nations. Scotland, oh, the Japanese have attempted to, well, a Japanese assassin has attempted to, Kempeitai have attempted to assassinate Hitler. So we have Cornwall, Wales, Kingdom of England, Ulster and Scotland. The Republic of Ireland is also here, and they're actually with the Unity Pact. Ulster, we have a weird friendship with Ulster, the Derry Scapa deal, which is actually quite nice. It's pretty good for us. Consumer goods is up, construction speeds down, but dockyard output's out. That's nice. We can build a navy. We've currently got 4 national spirits, as you can see. We have the English refugees. So, you know, lots of Englishmen tried to come north, and now they're basically stuck in the north because the Kingdom of England's now here. We're basically the shining beacon of the UK now. We are the last hope. Itchy Trigger, which I'm liking for the Division Defence on core territory. That could be very useful. And then we have the Derry Scapa deal. But let's go ahead and do it not quite alone. Even our isolated highlands, we can never forget about our neighbours. The collaborator government in England is nothing but an extension of the Reich, and German troops make sure to always remind us of their presence. Even if they can't attack us directly, this has the effect of spreading fear and paranoia among our armed forces, which I'll get to a little mechanic in a second about that. In order to ease their worries, we need to organise a propaganda campaign aimed at celebrating our military strength. At the same time, a more secretive kind of talk will make sure our troops are fully mobilised and ready to fight. This should improve the morale and slowly return the situation to normalcy. Scottish paranoia. So yes, the mechanic I'm on about is indecisions. We currently only have this, the armed forces paranoia. So yeah, Scotland forever. This is some lore behind them. For Scotland, for freedom. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause. Yeah, basically, we're paranoid that the Germans will attack just at any point, at any time. So right now, we're paranoid at 5, which is orange, so that's good. Spear has been nominated, well, announced rather, as the successor to Hitler. And they're disgruntled as well. I think the lower it goes, the worse. So we're wanting to keep our armed forces kind of on the good side. The King's Speech, basically, John McCormack is basically regarded as being our king, really. He gets referred to as being the king. Cheer to Scotland. However, he is quite unwell at this moment in time, so yes, he will most likely be passing away at some point, just like Hitler here will also disappear at some point and will have a bloody war in Germany. A civil war, rather. Bloody civil war. So there's a little bit of Africa that's not got anybody in it now. There's anarchy there. So I don't know what this is all about. Do they even have any divisions? No, I think that's just impassable terrain, really. Free France is actually a thing down here. We don't have a tree right now. Poor old Free France. The Presidium of the Supreme Soviet has defeated the Burat Autonomous Soviet Social Republic in a war. So yeah, the Soviet Union is gone. The Siberian Black Army. Riding on. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in Russia. I wonder what will. Live from Glasgow. Yeah, it doesn't really do anything for us. It doesn't change anything, so just lore. There's a lot of pop-ups with lore. Aid the English Bill. Thousands of Englishmen live in Scotland, most of them refugees fleeing from German prosecution or collaborationist revenge. Dozens of camps and tent cities dot the countryside, and many of them live in abject poverty, forced to either steal or accept any kind of job. To address this issue, the Parliament will discuss a bill to aid the poorest among the refugees with subsidies and work programmes aimed at them. While a humanitarian initiative, our nation already has too little to spare for those who used to oppress us. The Independent Labour Party is campaigning for it to pass, while our party will oppose it. Still, with many MPs still on the fence, we can only wait to see how the debate will end. Now, I think for the purpose of this playthrough, here's it talking about the Scottish paranoia. Yeah, for this playthrough, we currently have 3 parties that kind of have a little bit of, well, they're dominating our politics. We have the SNP, which right now has the largest, well, they have the majority. They have 55%, the new Scottish Navy. Basically talking about how what our Navy's state is. We do have 35 ships. We actually do have a pretty okay Navy. Edmund Walter Anstis, he'll take control then. Yeah, so I'm kind of leaning towards the Unionist Party with Priscilla Buchan, just because I do fancy trying to recreate and restore the United Kingdom, and maybe even the wider goal of actually reclaiming some of our old puppets, but at the same time that would probably mean fighting the Americans, and we really don't need to do that at all. Oh, Guyana is currently a client state of the foreign power, which just happens to be the Americans. So once again, the Swiss have managed to be neutral. Also, Romania and Hungary are not in anybody's faction, which I find weird. Actually, wait a second. Anyways, Menjiang has defeated the Mongolian People's Front in the war. Yeah, what happened to Hungary in this? Because they have really gained no land. Odessa and Nistrinia went to Romania. Saying that Romania's actually still got all their land. Carpathan Ruthenia. Okay, the English menace. Research. Now, there is one thing I do not like about this mod, and I'm sure you guys will know exactly what it is already. I'm not too keen on the interface. Sadly, I'm just not really. I don't like it. It's too bright. I don't like it. But at the same time, it's not going to bother me too much, I don't think. I'll get used to it. Anyways, a day adjured. Just talk another Parliament day. Unions take the moral high ground and one more for old times. So many popular. Can you imagine me sitting and reading all this? Actually, I will read this one because we do have a choice. The Unionists have been a recent underdog addition to the political landscape of Scotland. Led by Priscilla Buchanan, the party was determined to reform a united kingdom in some way, which I'm very interested in doing. And the party was seen as a laughingstock, always supporting causes that supported the displaced populations or a cause that could benefit reunification. As the SNP and ILP had ducked it out over the bill, the Unionists took the high ground in the situation. The MP had prepared a great speech for the Parliament, talking about how the help they would give to the poor and homeless of Scotland would help out in the future. The MP ranted on and on about how they would need the disenfranchised if the dream of the United Kingdom was realised. The other MPs simply scoffed at this notion. The Unionists ignored them and continued her speech. William Wolfe looked at his watch and was starting to be bored by the speech by the Unionists. William Wolfe's the leader of the ILP. It seemed she had been trying to attempt a filibuster and tire out the other members of Parliament. Then the speech ended and the Unionist had walked back to her seat near the other members of the Unionist Party. It was annoying to be more nationalist members of Parliament that they had a group that could jeopardise the very situation of Scottish independence and freedom. The Unionists had thought they had done a job well done and had hopefully gotten some members of the ILP who had Union sympathies to vote for the bill instead of attempting to kill it. The bill would be voted on soon. The SNP and some members of the ILP hoped it would be killed and they wouldn't need to listen to another long speech about how it would help the nation as a whole. Some of the ILP and the UP hoped it would pass. This could be a turning point for the Unions and reunification. I'm going to pass the bill. Yes, McCormack is extremely sick right now and bedridden. So it really is just a matter of time before he disappears. Okay, I'm not really interested in that one. The SNP passes the bill. The members of the SNP met to discuss the bill. One of them, Benjamin O'Donnell, was nervous. This bill seemed to cause a split down the lines of the party. O'Donnell was a new addition to the SNP and Parliament in general. This is the first time I had seen a member of the UP speak so clearly and with such energy. I don't think actually there's much that we really need to. Unlocks it passes. The ILP campaign and Freeze will do alright, and the UP campaign and Freeze will do alright. Oh yes, that's one thing I love about this mod. Union always finds a way. Okay, some more lore. I would love to read it all, but it's just so much. Bill has passed. Well, this is a defeat for our government. We'll need to implement it and oversee the subsidies and programmes so that they achieve the result. This will undoubtedly strengthen the ILP and weaken our majority. We need to reduce the damage, strengthen our majority, and try to ensure that no political instability follows this debacle. Right, the military funding bill now. The Scottish Army, especially Marshal Douglas Wimberley, have been lobbying for more funds for quite some time now. Our party has listened to their grievances and drafted a bill to increase the armed forces funds and ensure our nation can be ready for anything should our southern neighbours decide to pay us a visit. Of course, the ILP is campaigning against it and threatening to block the Parliament until they are listened. As it is, we have two choices in front of us. Either we pass the bill as it is and face a fierce opposition, or we try to find a compromise with the left, reducing the overall budget but ensuring a smooth travel. Wimberley's observations. Basically, he's watching some of the recruits firing rifles, and he's noticed that while handling one, that they're old. The guns we have are old. So another day, another letter. He's done this before, and basically we'll have a choice. We can either do Wimberley's proposal or a compromise. I'm thinking we're going to give the army as much funding as they desire, because let's be honest, we kind of want them to be on our side here. We do not want this to go bad. Oh gosh, it's nice to see Wick. There's Lerwick, Stornoway, Perth. I've been to Perth. I've been to Glasgow, Edinburgh, obviously. Dumfries. Wow, they're going again. I've been to Aberdeen and Inverness. I've basically been to all these places as well, except from Stornoway, Wick, and Lerwick. Not been to those three. The furthest I've been is probably up to Inverness, actually. That is the furthest up Scotland I've been. And that's basically because I go to football games. That is why I've travelled so much to Scotland. Wimberley's request. So yeah, we can't do any more focuses. He's asking for more funds once again, which he's done before. And anger in Parliament. William Wolf stared at the document that had been placed in front of him. His jaw had dropped. He couldn't believe the audacity of the SNP. They just proposed a bill that would increase the budget once again. It had been less than a year since this was last proposed. Across the floor, Priscilla Buchanan had the same reaction, but was already thinking of ways to use it. For a few hours, William Wolf had been talking to his fellow MPs and some members of the UP who had agreed to collaborate with the ILP. As the leader of the opposition, he made a speech that announced the funding of the military, calling it a gross overreach of rights established by the Constitution. He then asked the leader of the majority from the SNP to tell him where the funding had been acquired from. The leader of the majority didn't answer him. Wolf was dumbfounded. He wondered if the SNP would bend the knee to the army so easily. He then walked off the stand after his speaking time was done, and Priscilla Buchanan walked up. She reiterated many of the same points of the ILP, but said that she pledges to use the money from the bill if it fails to help the people of Scotland even more. She got lots of nods and whispers of agreement from the rows of seats. During this speech, Wolf was paying half attention and had collected himself. During this, he was considering offering a compromise to the SNP about this bill. He agreed on the facts about the army. Maybe he could receive a compromise when half the funding is achieved. He reminded his subordinates that the army's primary defence of Scotland, so this bill wouldn't protect them. Some of the ILP members hadn't agreed with this action and had planned to vote to abstain. William hoped they could come back to their wits and help him with the compromise. Only one deal. A request fulfilled. Wimberley had done this morning inspect as usual. While some would have disliked this boring, almost mechanical routine, he loved it. It gave a sense of pride to the army in a stable condition. He didn't like the condition the equipment was in. Okay, a courier arrived, bearing news of Parliament, addressed to Wembley and the forces staff. Wembley opened and prepared to be disappointed to see that his request had been denied. However, he was content to see when his request had been fulfilled. He then walked to the Scottish HQ and asked to see all the chiefs of staff to discuss this development. After some time, they all arrived. The Grand Marshal informed them of this development, and they now had the capital to start to order equipment. Wembley had placed large orders for weapons shipped from the United States, M14 rifles fresh from Springfield, Massachusetts. Then other chiefs of staff took their picks, things like machine guns and even some new fighter jet equipment in some cases. After all of the picks had been made, the orders would be placed within the coming months, and the equipment should be arriving into Scotland soon after. Then Wembley placed another order, this time on new fatigues and helmets for the incoming soldiers. He was at peace with himself and the Scottish government. They had actually listened to him, and now he and his generals can supply their men with top gear. No intervention from the ILP or Unionists. He then dismissed the men, and he followed them out. Marshall decided to go back to the range again. He saw the private there, firing his weapon like he was told, and really couldn't help but smile. And the armed forces become more happy because of this. Our army professionalism, societal development will begin to slowly improve. So that, I think, was the right decision. As we can see, they are now indifferent, so they have improved at their outlook of us. Anyways, let's go ahead into the future. Despite our rough start and the lingering issues plaguing our nation, namely the Germans and their collaborative puppets in the south. Oh god, the south. Our government is running better than expected. The people are happy about the SNP party and our popularity is rising steadily. We don't know what the future will reserve us, or if challenges much bigger that will come to us, but for now, we can give ourselves a well-deserved pat on the back. Scotland will grow, and it's only a matter of time and effort. Good. Oh, there's spy things up here. The death of John McCormack. The king is dead. Change the national focus tree to SCO start 1, and we lose 5 stability and 25 political power. So yes, we now have 3 new focuses. The king is dead. Grief and sorrow. John McCormack is dead. The founder and first leader of our nation has passed away. With him goes much of our political capital. A well-loved leader and extremely influential both was in the SNP and the wider political spectrum. His mere presence inspired respect and loyalty to the nation. With his death, not even 2 decades after independence, things are sure to heat up. Without doubt, the party is bound to go into frenzy as the current and minor members realign themselves and find a new balance. This will grant the opposition, and especially the Unionists, an opportunity to undermine our efforts. We'll lose 35 political power, 5 stability, and an evening of television. So McCormack is dead. So I think what will happen is we will go into an election period, disaster in Parliament. I feel like this will lead to an election being called, and then that's when we'll try and get the Unionists to take power. Now, I need to remember we have helicopters now, if we want to research them. However, right now, I think it's best if we continue to upgrade, well, our infantry equipment, and also to get tanks. Main battle tanks. What do I do? Alright, basically this is telling us what our people should do in the event of like a German invasion or a nuclear attack. Pride of the Wehrmacht. Franz Halder. Glorified beachheads. Extreme overextension. Reliance on the fatherland. Army of the Lotus State. Oh, the People's Revolution Council had defeated the Menjang in a war. Wales is also independent. So they are. They are free as well. Vultures on his corpse. As expected, McCormack's death has hit our party hard. Without his strong leadership and inspiring presence, our popularity is reducing and the opposition exploiting our weakness. Both the ILP and the UP are trying to reassert themselves as the only credible alternative to our government. If we can't turn the political tide, our party and our government will never be able to recover. Even worse, the Unionists could even try to campaign for the reunification with England, and eventually that must not come to pass. And here's even a television. Just at least we're actually stocked up on equipment. That is good to see. And the Scottish Home Guard, dreadful, dreadful division. The Croatian Autumn. Oh, Yugoslavia. Josip Broz Tito. Everyone loves a parade. So, okay, Yugoslavia is not there. The Sham Kingdom, Bosnian autonomy. You know, a tree. Right, our only option. Sadly, the SNP couldn't stem the tide of political upheaval that followed our beloved founder's death. The government has lost many important members who didn't accept the new leadership and balance of currents, and our majority in Parliament is no more. The only remaining option is to call a snap election to form a new legislature. We'll have to earn ourselves a new majority, this time one truly loyal to Scotland. Should anything else happen, it would be a catastrophe for our young nation. Funeral wallows. State of Union stable. So could you actually explode? Disagreement in Parliament, -3 stability. The Gibraltar Dam. Oh. Is that why there's additional land here? I'm wondering how this is happening. What happened to the Adriatic Sea? It's no longer a sea. It doesn't actually exist. The dam has definitely caused some more land to be. Just look at all the little islands down here. Vertical Industrial Organization 2 is done. Let's go ahead and grab you. Production efficiency cap -5. Oh. Let's go ahead and grab construction 3. Could do again our research slot. Hopefully we'll get it at some point soon. Let's just see what Heinrich Himmler gets up to. With his little control of. So we got Oost Paris and Paris. Brazil wins World Cup final. And how many of the nations in the world actually took part in the World Cup? So I'm just wondering what. Oh, Showa Emperor. I'm guessing that's Hirohito. Looks like Hirohito from here. I wonder what happened to Mussolini. I take it Mussolini's been killed off at some point. -3 stability. Election decision now available. Ah, you're with them or against them. Every citizen of Scotland is aware that this is a pivotal election and there's a growing sense of profundity to the occasion. Scotland's future relies on the results. Failure to vote would be merely laziness. It will be their election of the duty of the nation. And so the people weigh their options. Will they side with the mildly isolationist ILP and live in Scotland by and for the common man? Scotland will be exploited neither by fascists nor by capitalists. That sounds awful to me. Well, will they back the SNP and fight hard for independent liberal democracy, taking its place as a vibrant member of the international community? Or do they feel Scotland is mere part of a shattered whole? Will they back the UP and seek unity with English to the south in order to unite the kingdom once more? No single Scotsman is exempt from this difficult choice. As the political campaigns grind forward into the future, it becomes clear that you too must choose. Whose side are you on? I stand with all peoples of the Isles and the Unionist Party. It's nice being independent, but the rest of the UK is suffering by the hands of the Reich, so it is our duty to take care of them. In the wake of the bombing of the Triumvirate Conference in Malta, it appears as though whatever chances the Fragile Alliance had went down in flames. Oh. Oh. Oh no, so you are now able to do your own things. I was looking forward to potentially Grey Wolf terror raids. Okay. Yeah, I was looking forward to seeing maybe a German-Italian war. Very interesting to see what actually goes on. Election coverage. Oh. I forgot about these decisions. Let's campaign in Dumfries. Which will have 51 days. Really see if we can actually win this. LP rises in polls due to recent efforts. It's fine. That's fine as well. We should do that. Campaign in the Highlands. Send men into commission. Italian Empire has defeated declaration of war. Didn't even realise that had happened. Oh, Turkey is going to war as well now. Okay. Things are kicking off in the world. I'm going to raise the party turnout. I think that's probably the best one to choose here. Yep, our campaign was effective. Good. Main operations is done. Let's go ahead and do army interoperability. Oh, it backfired. Socialism isn't popular. Hell yeah, we don't have time for them. Get them in the bin. Get them in the bin. We'll try and get a couple more in. Actually, I don't know if we're going to be able to. We might get one more thing in. Yeah, we're going to get one more in. Semi-electoral commission. Let's host an electoral commission who will go out when they're due to. Active for 10 days. Active for 15. Let's do the rise the party turnout again. Hopefully we're going to win this. I feel like the Unionists is going to have the better route because it is going to be very aggressive towards our southern enemies. Now, the good thing about the Kingdom of England is the fact that cannot train units, disband units, or edit unit templates. So their army of 8 to 30 is all they've got right now. The only issue being is the Germans are obviously there. We do end up in war with them as well. So we're going to have to wait until Germany's in a mess themselves and won't be able to intervene as such. I don't know what's going to happen when that does break out. Is the whole Unity Pact just going to break? Everyone's going to just become an absolute mess? Right, general election day. Here we go. Who's won? To the final moment. We can now project a winner. The SNP. Boo. Boo, boo, boo. Okay, guys, I tried a second time to get the Unionists to actually get power, but I don't think you can. I'm not too sure. So we're gonna go with the SMP. Looks like some campaigns will still get some support. I don't know what's gonna happen. We'll see. We'll play this out, see what happens. Make promises. It's gonna be interesting. If we make promises to the English minority leaders about our commitment to free England, that does what I mean. If the HMMLR are to fail, the English will be angry. Yeah, that's really interesting. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna leave that episode there. So thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we will get into the nitty gritty stuff next episode. So until then, take care. Cheer bye. The now.